What's up, people? Welcome back. Welcome back to Everything Vegan. I am your host, Ed Harris, and today is a special day like every other day we have. Today we're doing, thank you. Today we are doing vegan lunch, right? And what can you have for lunch? A million things. But this one, I find it very easy and it's something that travels really well. So you can prep everything, put them in these jars. You can do the bigger jars depending on how much you want to take, or you can just do two of these jars. It varies, right? We can do that jar and you can do one of these. They might be a little harder to stuff with everything, but if you cut it smaller, no big deal, right? So we'll put that to the side. We're gonna go with the wider, shorter jars today, right? And this recipe should give you enough food for about three of these, okay? Now, a few things before we jump into what we're gonna do. I wanted to just talk about liquids, right? This particular recipe, I wanted to go with a very clean, very simple, easy recipe as your first recipe. And then we can jump into some more fancier things later on, all right? Because this is a journey and we have to take baby steps, all right? We can't just jump to the end, all right? So I wanna today we're gonna do water, but you can do different kinds of broths. You can do different kinds of liquids in terms of soups, but really thin ones. Excuse me, right? You can go with a variety of liquids. All right, that's one thing. Two, the cool thing about this is that you can literally swap out the vegetables that I'm using, and you can use just about any vegetable that you like. You just have to understand one thing. Now, depending on the vegetables you use, will also determine how long your liquid needs to be hot and what kind of liquid you're using, right? So, for instance, with this particular recipe, we're going with just boiling water, and you can use water from your pot. You can use it from a coffee machine. As long as it's reaching that temperature of boiling, it's going to be perfectly fine. All right. Now, with that being said, you want to keep in mind what you're putting into the jar and what needs to be cooked and how long it needs to cook. All right. So, the things that I have here today, all of it can be eaten raw. That's one. So, automatically, if it does not get cooked, it's totally fine because, like I said, they can be eaten raw. All right, so I'm going to go over the list of things that I have that we're going to use, and we're going to talk a little bit about a few of them. All right, so I have English peas here. These I actually just picked, which is always amazing when you can actually get the whole English peas and pick them. So I picked a few of those here. I have a recipe for you that you can follow along with, but I also changed up a few ingredients just to show you that it's super easy to do this and you can really swap out for your favorite ingredients. All right. I found some mini bok choy in the farmer's market, so I got some of this as well. Look how pretty these are. Right. I love the mini bok choy because to me, you can cook them in like 2 seconds, literally super hot pan, some garlic, some onions. They're good to go. A little bit of sesame oil, some soy sauce, real nice. All right, the bigger ones, they take a little bit longer. You have to do a little bit more with them, and they're very temperamental. With these, you can still kind of keep the bite in them, which is always great for bok choy. All right, we have our noodles. Right, with noodles, you can do a few different things, and I did this in a particular way because you have bean thread noodles, you have rice stick noodles. There are all kinds of white noodles that you can use. And depending on how they come, some of them might come in a really big bag and they're very long. So it's kind of hard to get into this without breaking them into a million pieces and them flying all over the place. So a quick trick is to just take them out and soak them into ice cold water for about 15 minutes or so, just until they become pliable, bendable. This way you can fit them into your glass jar super easy, and you don't have to fight with it too much. And that also cuts down the cooking time of your whole dish and your noodles, all right, because they've been pre-soaked. Okay, talking about soak, I have these beauties right here. So if you ever see these in your Asian market, grab them. They're amazing to work with. They are called by different names. Some people call them black fungus, some people call them black cloud ear mushrooms, or just cloud ear mushrooms, or some people call it mushrooms. But they are very similar. So these are how they look, right? when you get them in your bag. They're super hard. You hear that, right? Crispy. Some of them will bend, some won't, depending on how dry they are when you get them. But you want to soak them, and they turn into these beauties right here after they're soaked. Thank you, thank you. And I love working with these. They provide amazing texture, right? Visuals because it's a different color as well. And they're great for stir fries. They're great for braising. They're great for anything that you can cook for a really long time. They won't break down, they won't melt, and they provide really nice texture, like I said. So these we're gonna cut up really small and put into our jar as well, just to add another level of visuals as well as texture, because I'm big on when you're eating, you should have everything shouldn't be mushy, right? Because that's what you're gonna do anywhere. You're gonna cook, you're gonna chew, and everything is gonna get mushy. So being plant-based, it's super important to play with textures because textures allow you to not have all your food feel the same when you're eating it. You know what I mean? So besides that, we have carrots. I decided to, instead of use a box grater, I took my peeler and I peeled the carrots. Right after I did the initial peel, I just peeled the rest of it. So it gave me these beautiful ribbons. All right. And it's carrots, so they don't need to be cooked. But because they're peeled like this, they're going to cook very quickly anyway. So it works perfectly fine. We have purple cabbage. All right. Which is delicious, easy, beautiful to look at. We have our scallions. All right. We have our chili sauce right here. All right. Really nice garlic chili. We have our soy. In here, I have sesame oil. I added caramelized onions. Thank you. I added caramelized onions to this. You ever bought like instant noodles and one of the packets came and it had like a seasoned oil in it? This is the idea here. All right, we want to kind of replicate that idea. So I took sesame oil, added my caramelized onions to it, which is a stream I did right here on Kitch. So you can check that out after this stream today. See how I did those aromatics, which was chilies, garlic, and onions. Cooked it down really nice. Got this beautiful color here, like amber. All right. So that goes into our oil. That adds tons of flavor. The aroma, amazing. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And then last but not least, I added some Chinatown seasoning. This is a mix that I currently create and sell. And this is my version of a five spice, but with a little bit more fresher spices and just to round it off a little bit more. So it doesn't just taste like star anise only, because I've had tons of five spice and there's more star anise than anything else, and that just kind of throws off the flavor. And I don't like what you get when you use it in your Asian food. So I wanted something that was a little bit more balanced. So hence Chinatown. So if you don't have this, you can do a mix and you can omit it, or you can add your favorite Chinese seasoning to it. All right. These are all our ingredients. I have a nub of ginger here because I wanted to add a little bit more freshness and just really bring out the Asian flavors because we are doing noodles in a bowl. All right. So, super important. All right. This is a lot of talking, I know, but we have to go through where my mind is with this so you know how to approach these when you do it. All right. The next important thing when you're doing soup in a jar or noodles in a jar, you want to put the things that take the longest to cook and take the longest to get soft on the bottom, because that's where the liquid is going to hit first, and it's also going to be the last part that you eat. So whatever you put on the bottom needs to be able to withstand that long temperature and that time of you eating. Okay, so what we're going to put in the bottom, these shiitake mushrooms, I bought them last Saturday, and I like to leave them open in the refrigerator. What happens? They start to slowly dehydrate, which is amazing because these now I can use for my soups, I can use for this dish. They just add a more chewy texture to the mushroom, which is awesome. So if you have never, or if you ever saw mushrooms in your refrigerator and they kind of get a little bit withered looking, they kind of dry out a little bit, don't throw them out. There's nothing wrong with them. All right. You use them for your broths, you use them for your stocks, you use them for your soups. They're amazing. And even for like stir fries, if you want a more chewy, meatier texture, then mushrooms that are slowly starting to dehydrate is your best friend. I promise you. All right. So make sure you check that out. Okay. So we're gonna put our mushrooms down because remember, these are not gonna break down. They're gonna absorb all that liquid and they're gonna just come out really, really nice. All right, nice and soft. Okay, and it's gonna add some delicious umami to our three dishes right here. All right, the three amigos. Okay, so let's fill these up. I love this. All right, this is how we can make cooking fun. All right, so next thing we're gonna put in here is our cauliflower. All right, so cauliflower, just like that. And then we're gonna top this cauliflower with our sauces. All right, because we wanna saturate this and make it real good. Okay, so let's go with our caramelized onions. Since we have the chilies on here, let's do this first. All right, so 1 spoon, just drizzle that all around. All right, and you can go less chili sauce if you want. You can go more. It's totally up to you. You can do a mix. It's totally fine. All right, we're gonna add that in there. Okay, and now let me get a spoon for this one. This is our seasoned oil. All right. Normally you would just put this at the very end on the top, but since we're gonna pack this up dry, all right, and take it to work tomorrow or take it to school, take it to classes, whatever, we're gonna just have these things in here because you can always get boiling water from somewhere, right? You can go to a restaurant and say, hey, can I have a cup of, piping hot water, boiling water, please, from the coffee machine? Easy, right? So we're gonna put this in first, and this is also gonna add to all of that flavor of everything in there anyway, right? So 1 spoon is all we need for each of these because, like I said, this is packed with tons of flavor, and it just smells so good already. All right, now we're gonna go with our cabbage, right? And at this point, you can play doctor, and just kind of stick them in there, put them on the sides, all right? And you can press this down. You don't have to worry about crushing anything, all right? That's the other beauty about this, all right? There we go. All right, now we're gonna go put these to the side because I need to cut my cloud mushrooms. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have our spices left, our scallions, cabbage, all right, and our carrots. Okay, you can see, boom. Okay, we're good there. So these, and you want to pay attention to these. When they soak, you'll kind of see what they actually came from. So these get sliced off of pieces of trees, wood, and you can see right there. So this part you don't want to use. So you just rip it off or you cut it off. No big deal. All right. But nice slices, and you don't need a lot. Sometimes you can find these in the supermarket already cut like this, shredded. You can buy those. I rather get them whole and soak them myself and do this. A little in there, and then this one. The texture of this is amazing, amazing. Okay, those are in. Then we go with our carrot, right? Just like this. We go with our noodles, and I'll just finish one of these. This we can wrap up just like that. All right. So since we have some that want to stick out, this is where you decide whether you want to break up your noodles, you want them small, you want little bits and pieces just so they'll stay in there and stop fighting, like good little noodles. Then you can just give it a few snips. All right. And then boom, everybody is playing along and having a good old time. Right. So once those are in there, I'll just do my ginger. Okay. I love fresh ginger. We go with our peas, and you see the peas I'm putting on the top because we don't want the peas to cook too much, and we want to eat the peas immediately. All right. So a sprinkle right over our peas and our noodles, just like that. Then we go with the scallions on top. Whew.
That looks so good.
Right? Thanks, babes.
That looks
Scallion
so
on
good.
top. And then we take a spoon of our soy and just drizzle it around. Right? Thank you. Thank you. We'll do one more. Okay. And then, if you want this even more spicy, you can take a little bit chili oil, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Right? This is crunchy chili oil, which we also made on Kitch, so you can get the recipe for this. It's super delicious. Trust me. All right. Mix it up. There's sesame seeds in there. There's toasted garlic, caramelized onions, ginger, star anise, bay leaves, like some really, really delicious stuff. So just a little bit of this, and we'll just drizzle this right over the top like that. Right? Now, say you're at work and you're ready to dig in. All you need to do is go boil some water. I almost forgot this baby. So we'll take this and just stick it right in there on the side. All right? We'll do one and we'll do two. Right? Boom. Pretty. So we just put a lid on this. Right? Where are my lids? Here we go. Just like that. Take it to work. Take it to class. Right? We get there, we turn on, you get your machine, you get your water boiled, right? We need it boiling hot. All right?
Beautiful.
Thanks, babe. You have your chopsticks, right? Make sure you get your chopsticks, because you're going into the well. You gotta kind of dig a little bit. Not necessarily dig, but you know. But this is what it looks like in the jar. How pretty is this? Like, I mean, I just want to eat it through the glass, you know? But this is super vibrant, it's colorful, and this is like packed with nutrients, antioxidants. Like, it doesn't get better than this, right? And this is something you can do for lunch, for a quick snack. There's so many reasons that you can take this, and you can prep them ahead of time. This would be like meal prep, right? You can do 5 of these, and it's good for the week. You know what I mean? You want to just pay attention to how you layer everything inside. So boiling hot water, all right, you just pour it over and you pour it not to the very top, right? You pour it about the bottom rim, all right? And you cover this and you give it 5 minutes, all right? You give it 5 minutes. Look at that. It's going to be delicious, right? It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Like, we are done. We are done. Was All right. Would you like that, guys, ladies and gentlemen? So 5 minutes, you give this a nice little shake upside down. You keep all that liquid there. If you want to add a little bit more liquid after 5 minutes, you can, just to, lengthen your broth. It's totally up to you. You can add some more aromatics. You can add whatever you want. You can literally make these however way you want with whatever vegetables you want. Just have fun with it. That's the whole point. All right. We eat with our eyes. So make your food look good. And if you need help, you got me. All right. All you got to do is tune in every week. And I am guaranteed to bring you some delicious cooking demos of how simple everything vegan can be. All right. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. Remember to eat well, be well, cook well. All right. And I will see you next time. All right. Thank you so much.